this last piece of news again, very sad. We covered a little bit of this before, but NTV revealed on Friday the results of its internal investigation into the circumstances surrounding the live action Sexy Tanaka-san series after the show's original manga creator Ashihara Hinako died in an apparent suicide in January. Um, the report concluded that while Ashihara stated in a blog post shortly before her death that she had originally set a condition that the live action adaptation must always stay faithful to the manga, due to miscommunication from the very start of negotiations and production, that message was never conveyed to the staff of the adaptation. Um, so the story was like she after the live action adaptation uh came out, she initially made a blog post saying that, raising complaints that the live action adaptation did not follow it faithfully, and a lot of the scenes that she held core to the manga and dear to her heart were not depicted properly, and that she had voiced their complaints previously, like previous to the blog post and all this airing, to the production. And she has said that throughout the entire production, she had never met with the show's scriptwriter and she did not talk directly with the director. Um, and then she was the only scriptwriter, but then there were a whole bunch of production issues with that too. She later deleted the blog post after the show's scriptwriter started receiving backlash online, stating that it was not her intention to attack anyone, and she apologized. Afterwards, I believe about a week after, no, a couple days after, she was found dead again of an apparent suicide. And so after, all the news came out, many manga creators took to social media after Ashihara's death to talk about their own negative experiences in having their works adapted into other media. The situation also gave rise to an overall debate about the moral rights of authors, which includes the right of preserving the integrity of the work and is personal to the author, so it cannot be granted to others like copyright can. NTV then issued an apology in February, apologizing to all involved and expressing condolences to Ashihara's family. The network added at the time that it was taking the situation seriously and it will conduct its own investigation with an internal team. NTV cooperated with Shogakukan and an outside investigation team, including an outside lawyer. Yeah, I mean, the internal investigation is very like whatever, right? Like any stupid company can do an internal investigation and just say, yeah,
Yeah.
We've
we're fine.
investigated
Um,
ourselves, and we
yeah,
think it was kind of cool.
yeah. And I think there needs to be more investigations to this, including from the government as well, from government side as well. Very much outside investigations need to be done. But I, we talked about this before, and it's just so unfortunate that these companies are doing this. And I think this is also a bigger part of the worry. I think we talked about this before, where during the company news, I mentioned in passing that these companies are only looking to become more powerful and to collect all the companies underneath them, right? Kodansha, Shugakukan, Shueisha, um, Karakal DMM, these even companies above them, right? Say like Bema, not Bema, excuse me, Cyber Agents, stuff like that. These multimedia umbrella companies, and the companies over them, like again Warner Bros, Sony, stuff like that. These companies are only going to try to swallow up more and more of these other companies and try to gain more power over these authors and creators, not to play nice with them, but to do the exact opposite, to be like, okay, we can do whatever we want because we think it's for better profits or whatever, and you can't do shit. Um, and
Yeah,
I'm
basically just
afraid
trying
that,
to release the least offensive version of whatever. And by offensive,
or
I
like
mean
whatever they
like
think
offensive to
would make
your to
them the
like
more money. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, like
Yeah,
something that would not offend the sensibilities like ever of anyone.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. And I think it's, again, as more time goes on, as unfortunate as this Sexy Tanaka incident is, and as much I wish that this incident blew up as much as the like the Mappa, like workers kind of thing did, and the Netflix AI thing did, because I think this is just as important, if not, I would say more important than the anything else, because it's like it affects these like manga people. I mean, at least as important as the workers and uh, not getting paid as much because these artists are between a rock and a hard place, right? They obviously need to increase their brand, make their story more popular, and are happy to have their story told to the world. But if the companies who now not only own the anime production part, but can also control parts of the manga production, they can control parts of light novel publishing, and they're all coming together under one branch. They can simply say, okay, you don't like the fact that our directors and scriptwriters are not talking to you? Okay, talk to the hand. Like you are not only going to get screwed on your anime, but you're going to get potentially screwed on your manga publication, digital manga publication. Remember, a lot of these recent people are not it's actually Tanaka-san so much, but like for instance, like a lot of the manga writers and like adaptations you're seeing recently come from digital manga origins, meaning that if the same companies who have ownership over these digital manga platforms just go like, "Okay, we don't like you." That can have downstream effects on their later publications as well. They can affect their manga, they can affect their light novel. Say goodbye to your career. And under this fear, like these mangaka, these creators are just going to be like, "Okay, like we don't get any sort of creative license to um have our works be represented in the way that we want it to be, and even in these adaptations that are supposed to be adaptations. They're not supposed to be like a base vaguely inspired from whatever. Like they are adaptations of this work.
Yeah,
So
I would also be curious, and now not saying that this did happen, but I would be
Mhm.
curious to know with an external investigation if she was also contacted in some manner after the call out and
Yeah, yeah,
after
yeah,
they
for
started
100%.
receiving like things online because like you could easily see like if that happens like
Yeah,
obviously it's like then she starts getting emails which would
yeah,
obviously also push someone over the edge like
yeah, yeah. Because she was already like not in a good mental state, because of
yeah.
these like impacts to our series.
So I'd
So
be very curious if an external investigation would have found like, oh well, you straight up like told this person that like they were fucked at this point.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I just it's very unfortunate. Um, and obviously, everyone should hope that this never happens again. But I think also this underlines an important need to make sure that these companies are not allowed to just run roughshod over illustrators, over workers, over these creators in terms of just being like, oh, well, or because we could just do the AI, or because we could just, we have this process, so we don't need to talk to these people. We could just make our series, bro. We have all the power. And the more these companies are allowed to just run roughshod like that, the worse the industry will be off. The worse off the industry will be. So